probably did the same thing, got online, fathered the bride speech and that kind of thing. Things you have to talk about. And a couple of things that I have to talk about are the simple stories about Nick, and then maybe give him some advice. That's always a good thing according to what the online says we have to do. But so I'll give you a couple stories about Nick. And I won't embarrass him because I'll let all his groomsmen do that tomorrow night. But the things that I remember about Nick when he was a little kid, I used to work at at Nick's grade school. I worked on the finance committee, and his principal one time came up to me and mentioned to me how she was really impressed with Nick, how he stuck up for an underdog. I don't remember the little kid's name, but somebody was picking on him, and Nick came up and stuck up for him. And Marcia Jordan, the principal, was really impressed with that. And wow, this is good audience participation. Let's keep that up, okay? The other thing about Nick, and that's continued through his life, I know. Another thing about Nick is he's really a loyal friend, and it's witnessed by some of his. I see some of the groomsmen here, and the groomsmen are from IU. 7 years ago, they all graduated from Dwenger High School. They graduated another 4 years prior to that, probably 5 years. I don't remember, but and then grade school. He's still has really close friends from grade school that'll be groomsmen for him tomorrow. So. He's really a good and loyal friend. I think that says a lot about a person's personality. Nick takes the hard road. I remember he was in a fraternity down at IU. Some would call it a frat. Nick didn't like when I said that. But I remember him coming to me and saying, "Hey Dad, my senior year, I can get my finance degree. All I have to take is 3 credit hours. Do you remember that, Nick? 3 credit hours, he'd get his finance, or it was the accounting degree. It was one or the other, but he said, or I could take a full load, like the 19 hours or 20 hours, and get both my accounting and my finance degree." And I was like, I know what old Dad would have done, because school wasn't my favorite part of my life. But I said, yeah, that's got to be up to you, Nick. And ultimately, he took the heavier workload, and it shows, and got both degrees. He's got 2 certificates, 2 degrees, 1 finance, 1 accounting. So he'll take the hard road. I think, Aaron, he'll take the hard road. If you guys run into hard times, plan on him taking the hard road for you guys. One other story I have to tell you about Nick. So maybe a year ago or so, once in a while, all his friends probably said the same thing to him. "Hey Nick, is Erin the right one, or when are you going to ask her to marry you?" And I asked him that. I asked him, "So Nick, when are you going to ask Erin to marry you?" And he says, "Dad, you'll be the third to know." And I'm like, third to know? And he said, "Yeah, Rich, you were going to be the first to know, because he told me he's going to ask you first," which I'm sure he did. "Aaron, you were going to be the second that he was going to ask. And the third to know, I remember last Labor Day weekend is when I got the call. I was at a gun show in Ohio, no less. Early morning, we had camped that night because it was an all-night thing, and which is the best thing for buying guns, I guess, is all night long. But anyway, he called me at 7:30 in the morning, and it was FaceTime, and I saw it was from Nick, so I would always answer it. And I answered it, and what it was FaceTime, and it was a diamond ring showing up. And Nick said, "Guess what I did, Dad?" And of course it was his engagement. And I said, "Does Mom know? Does Mom know this?" And he goes, "No, you're the third to know." So he had to call Mom, and I had to fake surprise when Vaughn called, "Guess who got engaged?" So anyway, I thought that was kind of a fun little story about Nick. So this is the part I have to read, because I want to be sure that I tell Nick, this is my guidance to Nick and Aaron both, but to Nick mainly, because I'll talk to you in just a second, Aaron. But to Nick, my wish for you is that you and Aaron have the same good fortune and love that has gotten Mom and I and Rich and Margaret. Rich and Margaret have been married 44 years. Mom and I have only been married 40, but I hope you get the same. Only 40, but that got us through all these years. I wish you love each other, and you both have, and Nick specifically you, because this is for you, patience and understanding. That's huge. Be honest and loyal to each other. That's huge too. And I hope you make each other laugh until you cry, because you'll find that. It's like you probably were driving here with your new car and said, "Doggone it, I wish I would have got white instead of gray." And Aaron probably laughed at him about that. So anyway, and the other one is never let Erin go. She's just a gem.
Amen.
So I'm going to stop talking about Nick right now, and I want to talk a little bit about Erin and my accolades for her. And I know that I say this, and Vaughn supports me on it. Rich and Margaret, thank you for doing such a great job with Erin. She's such a gem for us. You guys did a great job with her. Obviously, you love her more than life itself. And what we want to thank you for is giving some of that same love to Nick. That's huge. And we all know it. Anybody that's been married know that having an in-laws that support you and love you is so important. So, Rich and Margaret, thank you for the love you've given to Nick and for raising such a great daughter. Eric and Allie, where are you? Oh, there's Eric. Okay, I was looking for you over here, Eric. And Pat and Kirsten, thank you also for being such a great in-laws and siblings to Nick, and that is huge too. And I know he'll get the same support, or Erin will get the same support from his sisters. So that was what I wanted to say first. I want to tell a story about Erin too, and I hope this doesn't run too long. In fact, Pat or Rich, you'll be able to talk longer tomorrow night. Nobody will say a thing. Oh, you won't? All right. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. They'll say you won't have to worry about that. But the first time I met Erin was where's Stephen Sekuloff? Where's he at? Oh, there he is over there. Stephen Lauren Sekuloff. This was the first time we ever met Erin. It was June 2016. Is that when you guys got married?
You raised it.
Huh? Is that right?
Yeah.
So that was four years ago, and Nick was in the wedding party, so he was up at the head table, and poor Erin, she had to sit with the old geezers, all the Wagner, the Vaughn and I, and then all the Queen of Angels, the grade school parents that we used to all pal around with because they were all in football together, and they were grilling Erin. She was very articulate back, and finally the wedding kind of progressed, and Erin went up with Nick to do dancing and things like that. And all the Queen of Angels parents, they were like, the husband was like, oh, we like Nick's girlfriend, and the wife, oh, we like Nick's girlfriend. Of course, Vaughn and I did too. So that was the first time we'd ever met Erin. I was really impressed that her, a young gal, could sit with these old people and not old people, but older people, and do a really nice job. So Mom was the one that brought this up. She said, Nick, that was 5 years ago. We voted clear back 5 years ago. How come it took so long to get?
I thought the roasting was over.
Okay. One other story that endeared me to Erin was when after we had met her, of course, and it was a while longer that she would come and visit us, and every once in a while I called her the wrong name, and she'd just kind of smile and kind of shrug her shoulders. And Nick would be giving me the evil eye, It's like, oh, geez. Well, the reason he's giving me the evil eye because it was Nick's old girlfriend. It just shows that you have such a backbone, Erin, and I always love that about you. I shared that story earlier. I'm also impressed, Erin, that you bought a home on your own. Wow, is that incredible or what? I mean, that just shows you're driving ahead and that kind of thing. I was totally impressed. So the final thing I'll say about Erin is. Some people have heard this expression before. Guys probably hear it more than women do. But they say that a man will put up with a wedding to get a wife. A man will put up with a wedding to get a wife. But a wife will put up with a husband to get a wedding. And you can look around right now, and this is the 48 people or whatever that are the closest to Erin and to Nick. And January will come, and it'll be a fun party there too. But Erin, you've just held up so well through this. I just am so impressed with you that happened. So now I have one final thing. This is for both of you. What can an old fogey say about love? What can an old fogey say about love? And just this most important thing in the world. I'll probably choke up, and said, after you choke up, that's okay, Terry. But because I was asking about the speech tomorrow, but because of love, Vaughn and I have found each other, and Nick's around because of love. And same thing with you, Erin. We have wonderful Aaron because of the love that Rich and Margaret have for each other. So I would say tomorrow when you exchange your rings and promises, just remember one thing, that you probably didn't see it. We tried to keep it. If you had an argument with each other, you're going to have arguments and that kind of thing. Just when you go to bed at night, be sure to make up. Don't take any malice to bed with you. Don't take love for granted. It's a hard road to hoe. Rich, you know that. Martin, you know that. Vaughn, you know that. It's 40 years, 44 years. And I know that by leading by example, you'll follow that. So that's pretty important. So in closing, your peaceful days of your honeymoon will happen. You'll come back to Chicago. Then the truth will set in, or it'll start setting in, and you'll be making decisions all as a team. And that's not the end of your honeymoon. That's just the start of your story. So I would tell you, in a toast, I got to grab my glass here. Okay, in a toast, I want to toast Nick, my son, wonderful son, Aaron, and this will be the last time I'll say this, Aaron, the fiance, soon tomorrow to be his wife. Congratulations.
Amen.
Sorry it took so long.